Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 366. Leslie tried to check me, but it didn't work. Because, you can't see our show notes, but at the top, up here, it says 366, where, she named the file, and because we use Google Docs. And down here, where, normal people read stuff, it says 365. She tried to trick me, but it didn't work.
Tried to trick her by sheer laziness.
At least she switched the saved file name. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is Monday, the 25th of September.
It is. There's 5 days left in the month.
There are. And you have not cast on... Oh, yeah, you have. That's your Desert Vista socks.
Yeah, but I haven't cast on the second one. This is still the first.
Still, that's good. I mean, you had just cast it on last week, so...
I cast it on last Thursday.
I mean, you are going to have to hustle, though.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I figured it out. I have to get, because this is an afterthought heel, so it doesn't have the heels in yet. So I'm going to have to get 2 repeats of color done a night in order for it to get done in time. So I am on the ribbing of the first. I guess I'm going with my works in progress. So I am on the ribbing of the first, and I'm starting my last color of the ribbing. So I'm starting light purple. It goes green, black, nude, I guess, like a peach, I don't know. What used to be called color nude in the Crayola box, I would say.
Yeah. Before we realized that nude can be more than one shade.
Skin tone, yeah. Yay. And then light blue, then a dark purple, then a light purple. So I am about to start the light purple, and I'm going to bind it off with light purple, although knowing me, there'll be a teeny bit of green.
Yeah.
And then I will start the toe of the next one, and these are afterthought heel socks. So there's actually a piece of waist yarn in them. So they're forethought heel socks, if we're being technical. And I will knit the second sock and then do both the heels next Saturday, because Saturday is the last day of the month. So this is what they look like.
Saturday is my dad's birthday.
Is it? And you can see that little bit of blue that I tried to put in the center of the stripe and totally failed, and it's right beside the other blue that is not the waist yarn. That's gonna be fun later. So once I hit that nude, I'll pull out until I get to that. What can we call it? Something other than nude? What can we call that? Peach? It's not really a peach.
It's kind of a tan.
Okay, tan. Yes, we're gonna go with tan. So it's not in the middle, so I'll go back to that tan and then do the afterthought heels. I have a wonky bit in the front because I had a split in my yarn, so I have an end to weave in there. Usually I would put that in the back, but it just so happened as I was trying to put in waist yarn, and I was like, I don't want to weave in ends right on top of other ends, because you have to weave in ends for your waist yarn when you pick up those stitches and start again. So that would have been lots of ends on that one side. So I opted not to do that. So this is the first sock, and it is living in my ghost bag that has a narrative. There's happy ghosts, there's very mad ghosts. Someone on the boards said that they think that ghost in the red, there he is mad because he was washed in the same laundry as that red sweater, and that's why he's pink. It's not an anger management issue. It's I got washed by mistake in
that
the
would
laundry.
Explain why the other guy's laughing at him.
Yeah. Or he could just be laughing at him because someone washed his sweater and it got too small and now it doesn't fit. And he's like a fat ghost in a little coat. Oh, Christopher Lee. Anyway, this bag is by Fat Squirrel, and it's my fave right now. I also have the Even Star, which did not get a ton of love. So it is at 31% right now.
Last week it was at 27.
Okay.
But last week was also Wednesday, so it hasn't been 7 days.
So it should be at 40% by Saturday, but I don't know that that's going to happen because the socks are going to get priority.
Yeah.
It does have stitch markers again. So last time you guys saw it, it did not have stitch markers, and I was waiting on stitch markers from Jelby, who's out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and they came. I like her stitch markers
They're like
a
little
lot.
captive peeps.
Yep.
But she glues in the ends so they don't snag.
Yep. So they're perfect for lace. So this is my hand spun even star. And she does lots of other cool products as well. So it is at the point where I'm on the third chart, which has twisted stitches every row. So it went from having a rest row to really a not rest row, because you're purling, it's creating like a ribbing. Let's see, right there.
Yeah,
It's
you're starting to
creating like a
create those
ribbing.
like tower
Uh-huh.
structures.
And twisted stitches. And so I have to repeat this ribbing section 21 times. And by the time I get to that, through that, I'll be at like 40%. So I have 15 rows to get done this week to get to 40%. So that's not bad. 15 rows.
When they're an hour a row.
Yeah, they're an hour a row now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the socks and some spinning I have to get done for House Cup. And then the extra time I will spend on this. Extra time.
Yeah.
But the socks should get a lot. I'm going to a librarian conference tomorrow. I get to get up earlier to go than when I normally go to work, which is still super early. So I have to leave the house at 6:30 tomorrow.
I'll still be asleep.
Usually I leave at 6:25 if I'm stopping for Starbucks, 6:35 if I'm not. So really it's just 5 minutes early, but
So
it seems like it's
Michael
gonna be
wanted to go
earlier.
into the office today because he had to do something with the server. And I've been going into the office for the past couple of weeks because I've been training an employee. And I said, Michael is terrible about being ready in the mornings. I hated it when we had to be on property because he would drag his feet every day. And last night I said, I'm leaving the house at 8:15. What time do you need to be up and out of bed in order to leave the house?
The answer for me would be 7.
8:15. And he's like, oh my God, that's so early.
That's not early. That's like normal people leave for work time.
He needed to be up at 7:30 so that he could
Oh, poor
have
Michael.
time to eat a bowl of cereal and take a shower. And then we had a minor like freak out because we couldn't find Fred, who is our oldest cat. He's 12.
And you had guests this weekend.
Yeah,
So.
we knew that he was still here when the guests left, but we couldn't find him. We ended up having to just leave for work. Worried about him all day. Came home. He was hiding under a sofa. He's fine.
He was just chilling.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm knitting these on signature needles, by the way. 47 inch is what I'm up to now. They're giants. They're actually a little bit. I should have kept it at 40 inch. I think they're a little bit too big right now because I'm having to like manipulate the stitches a little bit more.
You're gonna get to a point where it's not gonna feel big enough.
I thought this was the last. There must be another increase before the.
I don't remember. I just remember I used 47s, and I
Okay.
got to a point where
Well, it has to
47
get
inch
bigger.
length tip to tip, and I got to a point where I felt like there wasn't enough space to comfortably move a chunk at a time.
That's interesting. And my stitch markers, I'm using stitch markers to separate repeats, and sometimes they move.
Yep. Intentionally. Not like, surprise, I'm in the middle of the repeat.
No, sometimes you do like 3 stitch
Yeah,
decreases
like a decrease in the middle of...
over them. Yep. Actually, so at the beginning of the round, she tells you to move 10 stitches so that you're centered over the top of the leaf. Well, I had to move 11. But now my centered over the top of the leaf is not in between. It's like the one, like, so that made it correct for the first repeat, but every repeat after that, it's like one off. But I was like, I discovered that the second row into the lace, and I'm okay with it being one off. I think it'll be fun.
I'm sure it will be.
It'll be alright. Because there's this stretch of, like, stockinette in the middle, so you're not exactly lining up anyways.
Yeah, you're right. I'll correct it.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. I do like that mesh, this mesh part right here. I think is my favorite part so far. So this crazy mesh that's going on right there with the leaves. It's my favorite part so far. And then there's big leaves down here. But like the little itty bitty leaves in this mesh. Right up here. That makes me happy. Alright, and I have this much yarn left. So I'm doing okay.
It's a lace weight.
Yeah, and I'm pulling from the outside, and you can totally tell where my dog and cat dragged this across the room because it's got pearl hair all over it now.
And a pro tip for anybody who hasn't knit with lace weight before, pull from the outside.
Yeah, if you pull from the outside. It also takes a little bit of your twist out if you have an over-plied skein of yarn, which I do not, but with lace you don't need much twist.
I've gotten into the habit where I pull from the outside on every cake because
You get yarn
especially with fingering weight, if I pull from the outside, then when I'm done and I have my little leftovers, they're already neat and still in the little cake. So I don't have to re-skein them.
That's nice. Have I shown you this cake recently?
Oh, you always end up with barf.
It's like side barf.
Is that like side boob?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It's the side boob barf of yarn cakes. I'll fix it when I cut it at the end of this color repeat.
Oh, that's right, because you're almost done with that sock.
I am.
So I only have one thing I'm actively working on, and I just started it right before we recorded. The stripe sweater, I think, is going to get ripped back to the armholes because I pulled it out to work on it and, laid it out, and I was trying to measure. And where I've done the color changes on the one underarm is much snugger, because the floats between the color changes have made it a tight stretch, and I'm concerned about that not being even on both sides.
I told her to try it on and see.
And I may before I rip it back, but
that's what I would do.
I hate ripping back, honestly. It is my least. I mean, I'm sure nobody loves it, right? But
it's my favorite thing to do.
I get to the point where, if I'm going to rip it back, I'm just going to rip the whole thing out, and I won't do it. Which is silly. And
so, are you actually going to rip back to the armholes, or are you going to? I would rip to 2 rows past the armholes.
Well, yeah, I just meant rip estimate. Off. Yeah.
But if you're unhappy with it, I would rip now versus
that's the
later.
thing. I could keep going, but I haven't knit on it in 3 weeks, and I think part of that's subconsciously because I'm unhappy with the way that it looks.
I understand.
And just lying to myself about why. So, anyway, so I cast on.
You are a liar who lies.
I am.
We reviewed this book before.
We did. I wanted to cast on a pair of socks, but I'm going to wait until the beginning of the month.
Why is it frigid in your house?
That's my vents right there. Some friends and I are doing a less structured stripy yarn monthly thing, and I don't remember who's next month.
Mustache and Nomadic.
Okay, so
what we're doing is we have a text group that we text in quite frequently, and it's people that we've known for a very long time.
That we met at the first fling.
Yeah, that we met at the first Loopy U Spring Fling. So almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in April, right?
Yep,
Didn't we meet in 2008?
Yes,
yeah.
we did.
We're going to have a 10-year friendiversary party.
I know, we need to. That would be amazing.
It would be so amazing. So it's people that we don't get to see enough that we text with in a group text all the time. And we decided to kind of do... the hashtag for it is friends don't let friends hoard self-striping yarn. SS yarn.
Yeah.
And anyone's welcome to join us. So if you feel that you want to join, go ahead. We're open to everyone. But how we're doing it is every member in the group gets a month to pick what people they have in their stash.
And you pick 2 different
dyers.
dyers.
You pick 2 that most people have. Well, we all have.
Or can get
mostly
relatively
the same,
easily.
yeah, the same dyers. And we set it up like 2 months ago, so people had time to order if they needed to. So
and if this sounds interesting to you guys, maybe we'll do it as a group thing starting in January.
Yeah, definitely.
But this month was Jinx and
Mustache. And you can only repeat a dyer once. So next month is Mustache, because whoever picked is super lame. Who picked? Sarah.
Not me.
I think it was Sarah Dienitz.
Or Nomadic.
And that or Nomadic. And then Lynn picked...
For October. Oh, no, for November.
For November, any holiday self-striping, which is a total cop-out, but whatever. She's Lynn. We let her get away with it.
Mm.
And then you have December.
I haven't
and
picked
she
yet.
hasn't picked yet, and I have January.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting on her picking before I pick. And she's taking forever.
I didn't realize there was a timeline on it. I mean, except like maybe November. But although Jess is probably already like, hurry up and pick because I'm going to put things in a row.
Yeah. And I didn't do this past month. Like, she did this past month with her songs. But
I didn't have an even star to work on. So.
I had stuff going on, yo.
So
I don't know how next month's gonna work. Next week is next month.
So I wanted to wait until the 1st to cast on a new pair of socks. So, and the only other thing I have on the needles is the sweater, and I haven't quite worked up the heart to rip that back.
Mm-hmm.
So
we should do it. I should bring over a ball winder.
It's gonna be a pain in the, you know what, because it's got 3 different skeins of yarn, and
Why does it
every
have
2
3?
rows.
Oh, it does.
You have to switch yarns. Yeah, it's gonna be.
We can't use skein winders though because they're already caked.
Yeah, but I pulled from the outside, so you technically could.
We'll just have to wrap it around the outside. Yeah. We need another friend. Like if we had 3 people doing it. Actually, if we had 4 people doing it, 1 person holding the sweater, we could have Kobe do that. And then
that's the only job he's trusted with.
I guess Michael could help.
He wouldn't want to.
Okay.
So I have to work up the nerve.
I'm sure you could convince him to do it in some way, shape, or form.
She wants me to trade favors. So I decided, I've been wanting to cast this on since we reviewed this book, I think last year or earlier this year. When was it released? Last year.
Yeah, last year.
About a year ago. This is a Kirsten Kapoor pattern, and it's called the Glamour wrap. And it uses drop stitches and...
like cables?
Yeah, it looks like cables, but it's not.
Oh.
It's just sort of stockinette columns that widen and narrow. But this is what it looks like. And it's kind of like clapety in the drop stitches, but it uses a bulky yarn, so hopefully it'll knit up pretty quick. And so what I did was I went through...
Is that yarn bulky?
It's an Aran weight. So...
Okay.
Look, that's what Ravelry said, and I trust Ravelry. Ravelry would never lie to me.
Uh-huh.
So I'm using this yarn that...
The internet always tells the truth.
Our friend... See, Cashmere Aran. It's in the name.
I see the Arans in the name.
So this is a Louisa Harding.
I feel like I would swatch it, but you've already cast on, so
whatever. I don't care. It's not like it needs to be a certain size.
Yeah.
So this is the Louisa Harding Cashmere Aran, and it's in just a plain white color. I thought it would be a cool winter white. And I just started it when we were recording. When we started recording, I cast on. I picked a bag out of my never-ending supply of bags.
Oh, I don't have that bag. That's a cute one.
This was in the stuff that came with Roe.
Oh.
Happy Bobmas.
Aww, Bob.
Yeah. So, using a bag from Roe with yarn from Roe. So it makes it reminds me of her, which is nice.
Yeah.
It calls for a size 11 needle, and apparently even though I own probably 4 sets of interchangeables, I can't find a size 11 needle anywhere.
But most interchangeables don't go up
That's
to
true.
size 11.
But I know I have Addie Clicks in 11s. But I don't know where.
Where's your Addie Clicks at?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Oh, well.
They're probably in an SSK
I know where
bag.
it is. It's in an SSK bin.
Which is downstairs.
Because we use them for SSK.
So maybe I'll take this down and switch them off. So right now I'm using some needles.
Your wooden needles.
I only had these in wooden, and they're from Yarniverse, which was a local shop.
It's in Memphis.
It's actually on the needle, although you can't see it. It's laser cut in there, and there's no way I can make it focus on something that small.
I didn't realize they did needles
Yeah.
at some point.
But
those look like
another brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it
I
just...
wonder if they had them engraved. I don't know.
They're the only size 11s I had. And
which is amazing to me, but whatever.
So I just cast it on, and you do 8 rows of garter before you start the stitch pattern. And it's the same stitch pattern over and over and over, so that's good. It'll be easy to memorize, hopefully. And it's nice to work with. I mean, it feels nice. It's a wool microfiber cashmere blend.
It's like a chain ply construction.
Yeah,
almost.
it definitely is. If you look here, you can see.
Yeah, it's chained.
So I usually knit tight, so this is slightly thinner than what I would consider an Aran weight. So I think the two will balance each other fine. And if not, I don't care. It's just a wrap. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be anything specific. The pattern does allow for a shawl or a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just doing...
a wrap or a scarf.
You're right. Or a scarf or a wrap. Yes. One of those S words. And...
I know I'm right.
Yeah. I know you're right, too. Not arguing with you there. But
I had so many teenagers arguing today. It was amazing. And I don't argue with teenagers.
It doesn't really get you anywhere.
No, it just frustrates everyone involved.
But I pretty much hate knitting with wooden needles. So I'm hoping that when I go downstairs, I can switch these out for my clicks.
Yeah, we'll find your clicks. They're in that bin down there. I know they are.
But that's it. That's all I've got on the needles.
Okay.
You finished some stuff, right?
I did. I actually finished both these objects last week and forgot them.
That's right. When she came in on Wednesday, she was like, I forgot both my FOs.
So last Tuesday, I finished my HD yarn socks. Sorry, I'm going to get to the end of this row. I finished my HD yarn socks. So they are ready to go to my sister for Christmas. I have not woven in the ends.
So huge.
They're huge. But, yep, they're ready to roll. I just have to weave in the ends and black them, give them a good wash because they have pearl hair on them, and then they are ready to go. These are a pair of socks. I cannot wait to see these on blockers. These are Wendy's toe-up socks with a gusset. It's a pattern that she has for free on her website, wendyknits.net. I love that she's had a blog so long that it's a .net. And the yarn is HD yarns. They were knit on size 0 needles. I started one in March, and I finished and started the other one this month. So they are done, which makes me super happy. Yeah, isn't that like I think it's because the color changed on the heel.
Yeah, right
on
there.
both of them.
Yeah.
It creates like a little...
almost like a ladder effect.
Yeah, it's kind of fun though.
But it's just because of the color change.
Yep.
Where the decreases happened.
Yep. So, it's kind of fun. Those are for Rebecca, and they're in a Christmas bag, because that's about the time that I started them last year.
Whatever. They're a Christmas gift, and they're in a Christmas bag. Totally intentional.
Totally. I only have like 4 more pairs of socks to knit for Christmas. I did not do... Usually I use Stash for like my Christmas crafting. I did not do that this year. And the other thing that I have finished... It's a wee little baby hat.
Aww.
It's a little... So let me show you the yarn that this was knit out of, because I really knit this to show that you can have really crappy hand spun and it still looks very cute. So this is the hand spun that it was knit out of. Look at how terrible that is.
I would not call that crappy, but okay.
It's pretty terrible. It's very thick and thin in spots. You can see from the ones holding down. Like, it has big gobs of random fiber bits. It was a bat that had like just giant chunks of stuff in it, I think. And then I Navajo plied it, which is never like, if you're trying to get consistency, Navajo ply is not really the way to go. And people who can consistently Navajo ply, like their singles look perfect throughout. It's amazing.
Are they wizards?
They are wizards.
Sorcery.
MF and wizards. So, but when you knit stuff up, you totally can't tell. I mean, you can tell some blips and blobs, but I think it's kind of cute.
I think it is too. I think the color changes are intentional. They look intentional.
Well, when you chain ply.
Right, I'm just saying. It looks like that was a designed hat. Like it was designed to look exactly like that.
Good.
Exactly like that. Pointy and all.
Yeah, well, I like pointy kids' hats. Like, I think a pointy baby hat is the bomb. And I just made up the pattern. I think I cast on 60 stitches on size 9 needles. This is the pattern. So if you want to make one just like this, here you go. Cast on 60 stitches on size 9 needles. I don't know what the gauge is. And then you knit till you have like 5.5 inches or so. If you don't have a tape measure, that's cool too. Just eyeball it.
Baby says are about this big.
That's what I did. And then you knit 8, knit 2 together, knit that for a round. Then you just knit a round straight. And then you knit 7, knit 2 together, knit a round straight. Knit 6, knit 2 together, knit a round straight. And then you finally come to a point where it's like knit 2 together and you have like 6 stitches left or 4 stitches left.
Break that yarn.
Boom! Break that yarn, weave in the ends. Oh, I did do the new way of weaving in ends.
What's
that I learned from Ann Hansen. So on a stockinette swatch, you break the plies of the purl bumps going up.
Yeah.
And then you flip around and go and break the plies on going that way.
Oh, that's the way I've always done it on socks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would
like,
just dupe stitch. So I learned how to weave in ends after years of knitting. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, like I always go through the plies.
Nope, I always dupe stitch.
Oh. I read it. I must have seen it somewhere because I wouldn't have thought to do it on my own.
And
maybe it was the one thing I learned in a Cookie A class.
No, I learned a lot in Cookie A's classes. I took her design class though.
My brain stops when she starts talking math. It's just like, look at the
Your
shiny.
brain stops anytime someone. I was texting Jillian Marino about over twisted ply structure and how it twists, and
yeah, like if it's twisting in this direction, is there too much? If the swatch is slanting in this direction, is there too much
S twist or Z twist? And anyway, we were talking about that, and Leslie was like, math, la 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 la. And it wasn't even math, it was like ply structure. Crazy woman.
It's sort of math. It's like geometry. It's the directionality of the twist.
I guess. So anyway, I knit a baby hat.
Anyway.
I found out that 4 teachers at my school are pregnant this week. Yay! So, this will be going to one of them. It's kind of dense, though. What do you think? Is it too dense for a baby hat?
I mean, it's flexible. That's really all you need.
All you need is love.
For a newborn, it can be a cocoon.
It would be such a small cocoon.
Newborn will fit in there. Like up to the shoulders.
Oh, no way. That is super tiny.
Dude, I have created one.
Aw. Anyway.
Although he was a month early.
Yeah, this is
almost
like
8 pounds.
3 to 6. Yeah, 3 to 6 month hat. Anyway. It's fun. It's kind of artsy. Yarnsy. Anyway, that's all I got for finished objects. You don't have any finished objects, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Do you? Oh, that's right, you do. Yeah,
I love the faith that she has in me. You don't have any finished objects, do
No,
you?
because I thought you were just working on your sweater. I forgot that you had the socks. Go ahead. I'm done.
I was getting to the end of my row.
Okay.
Step off. All right. So actually, I forgot to show another work in progress. I barely worked on it, but I did put in a couple of...
Oh, look at that.
So this is a little cat embroidery pattern from Hawthorne Handmade, which you can get on Etsy.
That's cute.
And last week I had just done the outline in gray. I started doing a few of the stitches around the neck last night. Anything to avoid working on the sweater.
Well, no. You were also doing origami the other day while I was over here.
Yeah, I was making some cranes, some little...
What are you going to do with all your cranes?
No, I just sort of make them when I think about it. Because there's that
Sendoku. Or not Sendoku.
No, I'm thinking, I can't remember if it's a Chinese or a Japanese proverb, and that's terrible, but one of the two, there's an old story about a man who made 1,000 paper cranes and was granted a wish.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just sort of
I feel like there's a kid's book.
a pop culture. Well, maybe not
S.
pop culture, but...
And she has cancer, I feel like.
Maybe.
Just might be making stuff up at this point.
So the thing that I actually finished was my Jinx socks. And I've woven in the ends, but I haven't given them a bath yet or anything. So there are two.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you one, though. These are Jinx Strong Sport in the Abandoned Carnival colorway. These are not for me. They're a little small for me.
How?
So they'll go out to their recipient at some point when I remember to mail them. This is why I don't tell people when I'm making them things, because I might finish it and 2 months goes by before I remember to mail it.
Well, you've got Michael to be in charge of that kind of nonsense.
Yeah. So, I forgot how quick sport weight socks go. Sport weight for the win. Self-striping dyers, you should dye more sport weight.
There's 2 self-stripers that I know do sport weight.
Well, Nomadic does.
Mm-hmm.
Jinx does.
Mm-hmm. Those were the 2 that I was thinking of.
I don't know who else does sport weight self-striping.
Berry Colorful Yarnings does.
That's right.
Because I have some of her Slytherin colorway.
Who else?
That probably wasn't something that you took a picture of, because I think I hid it.
My self-striping's
precious.
back here. Highland Handmaids used to.
Did she do sport?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
if you are a self-striping dyer who does sport weight, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, because what we need, more yarn.
Sport weight goes so fast, though.
Well, people ask us questions like that, though, all the time, though, and if we know of you, then we can recommend you, so.
Yep. Especially if we've tried your yarn before.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all that I finished. I did no spinning this week. I thought about it, but my sister and her kids were here. A 13-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy. And the 13-year-old girl was fascinated by the wheels, and so I sat her down and tried to teach her. And she got the feet thing, but she was having issues with pinching and releasing with the fiber.
How far away did you have her hands from one another?
About 3 inches, maybe.
Yeah, it just depends on the staple length.
Yeah. But we tried it on a couple of different wheels, and it wasn't going great for her, so I didn't want to be like a jerk, like
and push it,
spinning in front of her or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So, and they didn't leave until Sunday afternoon. So hopefully I can get some spinning done this week.
But your house is super clean.
Yes, my house is clean and empty.
And quiet.
And empty.
And quiet.
I love my family. Well, I love my sister and her kids and husband, but they...
I like how you changed it from I love my family to I love my sister and her husband and her family.
They are charismatic and verbose.
They are very charismatic.
So, I can only handle it in doses. Because I'm crazy. And I take pills for being crazy.
Hey, where does Helen live?
Munford, Tennessee.
Okay. Because, we could go apple picking for those Arkansas black apples this weekend.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the way home today.
We should do that.
I would like to.
Maybe they'll have apple cider and apple cider donuts. They make home-baked pies and stuff there.
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah, we need to do that this weekend. I have no plans this weekend.
Okay,
and I'm not on call.
I get paid this weekend.
Woohoo!
I know. I'm going to blow it all on apples.
Don't spend it all in one place unless it's apples.
All the apples. Millions of apples. Apples for me. But apples ain't free. Oh.
Okay, so I have no spending, but Laura does.
I do.
But she's also in the middle of a bind.
Hold on, I'm going. I am spinning. So there's a podcast called The Weasley Sisters. It's Darnitz and Naturally Knitty.
Oh, cool.
And they're both House Cup people, and they've been doing it almost as long as we have.
And they're both in our group. They've been very active for a long time.
They're sweet people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them a lot. And one of them lives in Pennsylvania.
Starknits has a shop, right?
They both have shops. So Starknits does amazing bags, and she does spinning bags that are really cool, like buckets. And she's always sweet and sends us store prizes to SSK. And she also was selling Jamberry for a while. And Naturally Knitty does those bats and
oh, that's right.
and the Rolags,
yeah.
and she's got the Grumpy Rainbow colorway, which is like my favorite. It's like a rainbow and gray combined.
I might need that.
It's amazing. Anyway, they both have great stuff, and they do a podcast, and it's mostly House Cup centered.
Yeah.
Which is a great, I think one of the ways to have a successful podcast is make it your own in some way. And if you have like a niche that you're really into, like House Cup, go for it.
If you're passionate about it, it's just going to make it a better show.
And like, they are super inspiring in their spinning. And what they do a lot of is mashups. So they'll take like 12 braids and spin them and then create like a gorgeous sweater out of them. Like, super inspiring. So one of the prompts for House Cup this month is to do something based on a House Cupper that inspires you. So it was like super inspired by these two ladies.
We
They're
totally
wonderful.
have to steal that idea.
I do love that. Like, that's a great
it's very
idea.
like pay it forward. And
yeah. So and I've had like 4 people, and you have to hot link the person that inspires you. So I've had like 4 people hot link me. With either my pattern or someone yesterday hot linked me with like itty bits of spinning, which was super cute, like their first spinning, which was super cool, because we inspired them to learn how to spin. And so I'm doing a mashup. So this is the first bobbin, and both mine are BFL, and they're from Unwind Yarn Company when she used to dye fiber, and they're on Acreworks bobbins, although this is just the only bobbin that I have. I love Acreworks because you can see.
So when you say a mashup, do you mean you're like plying together different dyed?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the abalone colorway from Unwind Yarn Company.
And you'll apply that with something else.
That's like Terra Firma, I think it is, or Terra, by her. So it's got those blues in common, but I think it's going to turn out really interesting. And they're both BFL.
I love that idea.
So, and they do like sweater quantities. I'll have to show you later because like their newts are amazing. Newts are like the biggest projects that you can do for
They're
House
like
Cup.
owls on steroids.
Yes, they take like owls. So my owl that I'm doing is the Even Star, and it takes 3 months. Newts take 4 months of like it might be, oh, I cleaned this fleece and then I prepped it and then I spun it and then I knit a sweater out of it.
Yeah.
I think that's what Naturally Knitty is doing this time. So, and she's doing the cutest swatches. So her swatches for her sweater, like to see just if she likes the yarn. So like I did that swatch last week just to see if I liked the yarn composition. She makes itty bitty sweaters, like Barbie doll sweaters to see if she likes knitting with it. How cute is that?
Ornaments?
Yes. So super cute. I'm telling you, they're like the most inspiring ladies ever. So when it comes to spinning, for sure, like I just want to go live in their I just want to live in their brains for a while. I'm trying to get them to vend SSK.
That'd be fun
because I want to spend more. I think I met both of them at Maryland Sheep and Wool like 4 or 5 years ago. I want to spend more time with them, and they've got cool products too. So those two are going to be spun together, spun separately and then plied, and I just split the braids in half. And I'm just spinning end to end. So hopefully I thought I was spinning this thicker, but it took a long time this is like 6 hours of spinning.
And how many ounces is it?
4.
Oh, well.
So, but I've been doing like chunky stuff like this, where it's taking like an hour per 2 ounces. So this is going to be more sport weight. I might see someone at SSK won a spinning prize. I might see if they like this when it's done. We'll see. Or I might keep it for me and knit like a shawl out of it or something, because 8 ounces is quite a bit. This spun out really, really interesting. So I think I took a picture. Hold on. I'm trying to take more pictures of my spinning as I do it. Thank you, PBS. My news on my phone comes through. So these are the two braids together. I'm a little bit concerned as to what you can see at the bottom. There's Pearl in a Steelers jersey that Leslie got her.
She looks like a sausage.
It's kind of weird. It's flipped up. It keeps flipping up.
Yeah. She's just fluffy.
It might be a sausage. I don't know. Here's the braid with the fiber. Here's it being spun. How about that? So the singles with the fiber underneath. Because I'm trying to take pictures of that because it looks different in the braid than it does. Want to know the most popular book in my library right now? It's Restart. I thought I did a junky job book talking it, and then I looked at holds today, and it's got 7 holds on it, so apparently I wasn't that bad. Anyway, and here's a dog from the internet that says when you lied on your CV about having previous sheepdog experience. It just made me so happy I had to screenshot it.
It is pretty happy.
Thanks, Twitter, for the happiness today. Alright, so that's the pictures on my phone. You're welcome. So that's my spinning that I have going on. I did make a lot of bats this week because I'm trying to get Leslie back her drum carter.
Because I'm in such a hurry for it.
She's not, but I'm in a hurry to get my house
I did find that
up.
Peeper Hollow farm that you sent to me to clean. I did find it.
Oh.
Because we talked about it like a month ago, and I was like, you gave me what?
A
whole fleece.
Yeah, that fleece that I gave you.
But it's compressed into a box because that's how she mailed it.
Yeah, it's like
and so
5
that's
pounds.
how it still is.
Yeah, it's
but
like 5 pounds of fiber. I'm glad you found it. We'll have to go play with that later.
Yeah.
Because Leslie, I gave it to her last November. No, it had to be I think I got it in the spring shearing because I typically don't do her fall shearings because they're meat market shearings and they're shorter staple lengths. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's not what you prefer.
I like a longer staple length. And,
she's a size queen.
I am. And so I had to get it in the spring, and I think she put it up in, it must have been, February when I gave it to you. So yay for having a dirty fleece in your house since February.
It's in my garage, so.
That you lost in a box.
It's
wrapped in a trash bag, too.
Yeah.
So
it's covered,
things
so it's not,
are getting in it, but... I mean, technically, they probably still could, but it's in a box in a trash bag.
It's fine.
Probably not. And her fleeces are so clean. Yeah, I want to look at that again, because I didn't even open it. I didn't even open the box before I gave it to you. And Leslie was complaining that she didn't have any fleece to clean, and she was sad that she didn't have any fleece to clean.
Because I enjoy that part.
And I was like, well, I have 6 fleeces in my garage. You can have the one that just came, because I'm sharing like that.
Sharing is caring.
It is. So, anyway, we'll have to wash it. Excellent.
So, we don't have a book to review, but we can...
We have books to review, but we're going to wait till next week.
This is correct. We do not have a book prepared to discuss today.
Because we've been doing I've been doing 60-hour weeks at work.
Yeah, and I had my sister and her family here this weekend, so I just didn't have time. Because we like to actually read the book before we discuss it. So I am, as far as for personal entertainment, I am listening to Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I had to take breaks from it because it's, the crux is, good versus evil, angels versus chimera. And I'm not a fan of the whole angels versus devils plotline.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, I don't enjoy reading that type of thing, just like I don't enjoy reading about time travel or ghosts.
Well, romance ghosts, not ghosts that are gonna scare you, or just any ghosts.
Any ghosts.
Oh, really?
Although I do like horror movies, but I don't know, for some reason I just don't like reading about it.
Okay.
So
Pet Sematary you wouldn't read?
Probably not.
Okay.
But I'm alternating between Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Children of Time, which is a science fiction...
Which sounds like a time travel novel.
It's not.
If it was, I'd be like, can I throw you a ghost book? Maybe you just need to throw in Pet Sematary to have the trifecta of amazingness.
Adrian Tchaikovsky wrote it. It came out earlier this year. Apparently it's gotten... Oh, I just closed the show notes. I'm such a genius.
It's okay. I know what I'm talking about.
Thank goodness Google saves that kind of stuff for us. Google our overlord. It's a space themed, sort of post-apocalyptic. Like we've kind of destroyed the resources
is this when
of
they're
Earth.
in pods and they have to go back to Earth? This is what you
Not at
talked
this
about
point.
last. What did you talk about last week that had people that had to go back to Earth to get things?
Oh, that was Hell Divers,
Okay.
and that's not the same thing. They
They
stayed.
sound like the same.
They
thing.
stayed orbiting the Earth.
Okay.
This one, it was a science vessel that went out to a terraformed world, and the idea is that there was one brilliant scientist who wanted to sort of create the next evolutionary leap, and so the idea was to populate the world with chimpanzees, and she designed this virus that basically creates these evolutionary leaps. But of course things go wrong, right? And where I am right now,
do dinosaurs come and eat all the chimpanzees? Because that would be amazing.
the virus adapts because the chimps never make it to the
course.
planet, and spiders evolve into sentient, intelligent, like, I'm not at the point where there's any people on the planet yet, so
spiders.
we'll see. It's interesting so far, but I'm only a couple hours into it. And then I just started reading Trigger by Scarlet Dawn, which is, have you read that?
No.
Okay, it's sort of kind of a Kate Daniels-esque
Is it Kindle
book.
Unlimited?
Yes. I'm only on the first book, and
It's called Trigger?
Trigger, yeah. I'm only on the first book, and it's not Alana Andrews. Don't get me wrong. It is definitely a substitute, but it's decent so far.
It's like the clone of a clone.
Yeah, how they get dumber with every copy. I don't mean to
That didn't come out quite
it
right.
really didn't. I didn't mean to insult the author.
If you've ever seen Multiplicity.
Yeah, which is friggin' hilarious.
Oh, awesome. I'm getting like lots of gun things when I read for free on Amazon. It's
Yeah.
got a lion in it. Is that why you were thinking it was similar to...
Well, it's the same general premise. So there's like this really strong boss shifter who's a lion.
Oh, there's multiple ones of it.
Yeah, and then there's this kind of quirky, weird girl who
There's at
doesn't
least
play
3.
by the rules, and they end up, together. So
I am getting some interesting...
suggestions.
yeah.
But that's what I'm reading. What about you?
Amazon just recommended to me Knocked Up by the Dom, a BDSM secret baby romance.
Wow.
Oh, awesome.
Is it an impreg?
No, it's not.
Oh. That would be combining so many different,
Genres.
Yeah.
Maybe if they were Amish, we could just add that too. I love subgenres of...
Okay, if
things.
noises bother you, I'm about to open a soda.
Anyway, I am listening to Hunter by Mercedes Lackey. It is not like her other stuff.
In what way?
So Mercedes Lackey typically writes fantasy with talking horses.
Mm-hmm. But they're not called horses. They're called something else.
Companions.
Yeah.
And then she's got another series that's more like Britain colonization, magic series. And so this is not like that. This is a YA book. I think it's being billed as YA. And it is a dystopia. And it's... As an adult, you can kind of read into how the author feels about certain genre, like certain types of people. So the main character, and I'm only an hour in, and I'm not super invested in it, because it just reminds me so much of other stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the Yellowstone volcano exploded. The poles reversed themselves.
Wow.
And the Christians sent off a nuclear bomb. And there's some interesting commentary on Christians.
Wait, how did the Christians get a bomb?
Well, they set it off in Israel. Like the U.S. government, Christian type government.
I'm trying to logic fiction, sorry.
Yeah. Dystopian fiction. So anyway, a nuclear bomb set off in Israel, and this is like 200 years later. And the main character has been raised by like Tibetan monks in a monastery because above the snow lines people can survive.
Because the radiation isn't.
Well, because harpies and that have also come to Earth. Like magic has opened its gateway. See, there's too much going on.
Oh, yeah.
Give me one dystopian event. Like, I was with you when Yellowstone exploded. I was with you when the poles reversed themselves. Then we have a nuclear bomb and a gateway from a magical universe that also has, like, harpies and dragons and things like that that are not Sunadin. Oh, and by the way, what I just listened to, it talks about why harpies are bald, and it's the same reason vultures are bald, which I didn't realize, so they can stick their entire head into a decaying corpse. Yeah, like...
God. Wow.
Reasons why I'm not completely sold, but I never realized that's why vultures were bald before.
I didn't. I assumed it was like a nervous...
It's an evolutionary thing. Well, they've got feathers, but it's smooth so that they can stick their entire heads into corpses. I don't even understand where this is coming from. And I did this thing with my kids today where we talked about, annotating text and how you can't do that in library books. Like, you can't highlight library books.
Right.
So you can take sticky notes and write your annotations. And my annotation for that moment would have been like...
WTF.
Why vultures? Like, why vultures? Like, and then I would have, and then question mark, is this true?
And then there she'd be off to Google.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what Mercedes Lackey says.
I'm not Googling that because it'll be on my Google record forever.
And so the main character is she's being summoned to the apex city. So her Tibetan... No, this is not. The Tibetan monastery is Colorado-ish. And so she's being summoned on a train because you can't fly because these apex magical predators and the storms from the reversal of the poles and the volcanic ash that's still erupting. And Mount St. Helens also exploded, by the way.
So
has
planes
eliminated,
aren't safe, but trains are safe.
Yes, because they have a metal cage that surrounds them that is electrocuted at all times.
Electrified?
Yeah.
Okay.
That electrocutes people.
Okay. So it would kill the harpies if
Yes, and the main character is a hunter, and she can summon beasts that eat mana, which is magical energy, and destroy these people. So she can summon these magical beasts to destroy other magical beasts. She can work magic, and she herself is being told to go to Washington, D.C. I'm thinking that's what this is, the apex city, where the military is based, and that's how they survived for training. And it's a big secret.
I feel like this is like a game of magic cards. They just got sort of shuffled.
And I'm 45 minutes in. So in like real time, that's probably like 2 chapters.
Yeah.
I'm not sold.
I don't know if I could stomach quite all that.
It's a library book.
Oh.
So, and I have 7 days left on the
loan.
Check out. I don't know. If you've read it, people on the internet, and it's good, let me know and I'll continue. But I tell my kids you have to give books like a 25-page minimum.
Yeah.
Kind of ish. Unless it's Virginia Woolf, in which case you can dump it right away.
For me, it's like punctuation and spelling. I'll forgive 1 or 2 issues because self-publishing does make things a lot easier, and that's great for a lot of people, but some people really need to use spell check.
I'm sorry if you like Twilight. One of my kids was reading Twilight today, and I go through with my students, like, ways to tell if a book's right for you. And we talk about, do you understand the majority of the words on the page? Like, if there's 5 words on a page that you're having to look up, 5 or more, then that's probably not a good fit for you. it's if books are the right fit for you. If the way the author writes, like if you don't like stylistically how they write, like Virginia Woolf for me drives me crazy, because sentences that are a paragraph long I can't handle. Like To the Lighthouse and I had to read it for college. Then and I say that's not a good fit for me. Guinness Book, if the way the page is laid out, like Guinness Book of World Records, there's too much going on. I can't handle that. And then I always say, or if you don't like the characters, like if the characters just irk you, like Bella of Twilight, and all they do is sit around and mope and wait for people to rescue them. I just can't
no
handle
bias
it
whatsoever.
But it makes the kids laugh. I mean, it's good, like... And I say, this is my personal opinion. We all have things. And so one of my 8th graders today has heard this speech like twice before. And she's reading Twilight, and I'm conferencing with readers. I'm co-teaching with my English teachers, and we're conferencing with our readers. And I walk up to her, and she's like, I know you hate Twilight. You can just keep walking. I was like... Okay. But we talked about, she was like, I think that Eclipse comes next. And I was like, I don't know. So we looked up to make sure she could write down the correct order of the books so that she would know which ones came next. Because she was like, I think the baby daddy one's my favorite. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So we looked up, so Breaking Dawn. So we looked up the order so she could write them down. So then she has books to go to next. And it's not a big production, because sometimes if you don't know what book to go to next, that can totally, like, disrupt your flow. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and that's what conferencing is about. It's, like, getting little, like, fix-up strategies to just help kids be successful.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And now you got a librarian lesson about why I hate Twilight.
I think that the 4 things that you mentioned about determining if a book is right for you is relevant to everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Do you like the characters? Do you like the writing style?
Do you like the page layout? Like, if the font's really, really small, that will, like, those... I don't know if you remember, but, like, in 1980s, the mass market paperbacks where the font was, like...
And the paper was super thin?
Yeah. Like,
So, do you like the characters? Do you like the writing style? The layout of the pages.
Do you understand the words?
Do you understand the words?
There's like 6 of them. I can't remember.
Well, those were the 4 that you mentioned.
Yeah, I know. I have 6 though. Let's see.
Will staring at you make you remember faster?
No. I'm trying to visualize in my head. I have little table toppers all over the library that have them all written down, so that I don't have to remember.
So remember it, and we'll talk about it next week. Like, write it down. Sometime this week.
I'll take a picture of my table toppers on my phone. There you go. Maybe I'll just post it. If I remember, I'll take a picture of my table toppers and post it to Ravelry. How about that?
In the episode thread. That'll be good.
That would be wonderfully helpful. And if you know something that should be added to that list that I haven't mentioned.
That you particularly find helpful when choosing a book.
Let me know.
Because Laura and I are both avid readers. We both read. We don't always list everything we read, because some of it ends up being kind of crappy, and some of it neither of us are going to admit to reading.
Oh, you know what else I'm reading? I'm reading the new Clara Parks book.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
A Stash of One's Own, or something with stashes. I'm savoring it. So, like, Saturday morning with my coffee, I read Meg's essay, Elizabeth Zimmerman's daughter, about inheriting her mom's stash.
Yeah.
And her mom's legacy. And that was really interesting. She gave the people... Now I really want to go to camp. Like, I really want to go to camp. Meg Swanson.
Yeah, but it's always SSK time.
There's earlier ones. They're always in the summer. I need to make it... The, like, later, more experienced ones are, like, SSK time.
I'm going to be, like, heretical here and say that I have read Clara Parks' books, but they just don't do anything particular for me.
It's allowed. Again,
I do love what she does with, like, furthering the breeds and the knowledge and all that. I think that's great.
Are you talking about Knitter's Book of Yarn, or are you talking about, like, her essay books?
Her essay books.
Okay.
I think it's just something with the narrative. It's just, it doesn't hold my interest.
So these are pieces. This might hold your interest a little bit more. I can't break this because I have to use this yarn. Yeah, sure. Look, this is something else I learned. Instead of going this through and knotting it like I normally would.
And then you run it through the back of the stitch.
Yeah, I always do that. But yeah, you don't have to knot it through and create that loop there. You can just...
Cool.
Thanks, Craftsy, for your free day. So this new book is a collection of essays. So like Jillian Marino wrote an essay for it. And Meg wrote an essay. And it's like 20 different essays. So if you don't particularly care for Claire's writing style... And, like, the Yarn Harlot wrote an essay. There's all different styles.
Maybe I'll read it when you're done, then.
Yeah, I have it in paperback. Because I like to buy knitting books in... Actually, hardcover. I like to buy knitting books in actual physical things. It drives... Like, I appreciate the fact that we get books to review for free all the time. Like, that is an awesome perk of this gig. But I prefer my books to be non-digital form when it comes to knitting books and spinning books. If that makes any kind of sense. I think both have
their merits. But
I mean, I like the portability. Like, there have been books that I've repurchased in digital format. There's like 4 or 5 spinning books that I have. But I don't know. I just prefer... Plus, like, the brain science says you remember things better when you have a physical copy.
That's probably true.
Because your eyes relate things to the physical pages. And the thickness and the feel. Like, you have multiple senses that are being engaged.
I can see that.
Anyway. Did you need a librarian lesson today? Why, yes, you did.
We don't really have any favorite things to talk about.
Halloween Craft All the Things is going on, and we have a prize that came. Yes. Our first prize came. So this is by Lady Juju.
Yes.
I'm going to pull it out of its packaging.
She sent us some individually for ourselves,
super
which was
cute.
very kind,
so,
and then she sent some as prizes.
Lady Juju Crafts. Can you see?
They are Halloween and fall themed.
And they're stitch markers. They're progress stitch markers. And one's Christmas, and then there's 2 Halloween. They're made out of clay, except for the Christmas tree is
beaded
Swarovski whatever those are, crystals.
Yeah, it's cool. I haven't heard of her shop before, so I'll have to go check it out.
And they've got cute little faces on them. The Frankenstein one does. It's adorable. I wish I had that kind of skill. Also, I wish I could manipulate things with my hands better. There you go. It's so cute.
It is cute.
I got a very hungry caterpillar one, which makes me super happy. So yeah, she's got a shop. I think she's posted in our group before. I don't know.
It's hard to remember everybody, but we try. We fail a lot, but we try.
So she's got super cute stuff.
It's Falloween themed.
It's Falloween themed. I thought that I typed, instead of Halloween Craft All the Things, I had typed Falloween Craft All the Things, which I think is now going to be the name of this from now on.
It's definitely the name of this episode.
Falloween. Yes. It's just one letter off, but it makes it so, like, it's the total perfect matchup. Because fall and Halloween, and that's what we do. Falloween. I'm making it a thing.
Yeah, she's just going to talk until you agree.
Everyone.
So
I finished my first sock except for the
I'm at a point where I have to like put in stitch markers and stuff. So
I hope I made that cuff 4 inches. I think I
did have your little bit of green, your little bit of other color.
Yeah, like that wasn't gonna happen. Right there.
It's your signature thing.
Something.
Okay, well, you guys have a lovely week, and we will talk to you again in October.
Oh my goodness! Bye y'all.